everybody, I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Danrvdtree2000 on Xbox Live, and welcome to a brand new playlist called WWE'S Good, Bad, and the Ugly. And so, let me just explain what this playlist is going to be all about, or for the future references. Basically, I'm going to look at the the good, the bad, and the ugly parts of Monday Night Raw and Tuesday Night SmackDown Live. And as this is the premiere episode, I'm going to give you 2 weeks worth of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live of the good parts, the bad parts, and the ugly parts of both shows for the last 2 weeks, which is this week's and last week's, which was basically, it will be the 24th of December 2018, the 25th, which was Monday Night Raw, the 25th of December 2018, which was SmackDown. Wait, was it not the Christmas Eve? The New Year's Eve episode, which was last week's episodes of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. I want to just clarify, because I was originally going to do this entire thing last week, but I totally forgot all about it, as even though I made some notes on my phone here. So what I have done, I have put down the notes in a memo for that last week, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and also this week's the good, the bad, and ugly for both SmackDown and of course Raw. So I will explain what they are altogether. They are some of the rules, if you will, for this entire series. Basically, the good is basically just before I say anything, they're all my own personal opinions, and so if there's anyone that thought that what happened this week was, for what I chose, was a lot different to your opinion, then go ahead and let me know in the comments of what you thought of Monday Night Raw that week, or whichever week this is, that is I'm going to be telling you about in the video. But it will be this week's and last week's, so please let me know what you thought of those last 2 weeks of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. So what it is also its good parts, which is all the best part of Monday Night Raw, in my opinion. The bad parts are basically the worst parts, the worst part of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, in my opinion. And the ugly part is a part that was neither good or neither bad. So it's like a meh type of part of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. So not just because of you can't look at it type of thing, or it was too cringy. It's more of a metaphorically ugly to say, it was meh, it was okay type of thing. So it's not literally the word ugly so much that you can't look at it. It's just one of those things that happened that I would be like, oh, okay, this happened type of thing. So let's go back to it then. Again, I might try and make it all fancy-like, and I might put some logos and the actual things and what I'm talking about. So let's start with Monday Night Raw on the New Year's Eve edition of Monday Night Raw, and we will go to the good parts of that show, the bad parts of that show, and the ugly parts. Starting with the good parts. The good part of the New Year's Eve edition of Monday Night Raw last week was in fact the very first match itself, the steel cage match between Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. Man, that was a hell of a match. It's just to get the final bit of the rivalry between friendship out the way between Drew McIntyre and him telling everyone that he's going to be entering the Royal Rumble, to say that's what the build up now for Drew McIntyre has been really good as of late, and I'm in my predictions of the Royal Rumble that's coming up soon. He's probably one of the top picks for me to choose to win the Royal Rumble match 2018 at 19 Royal Rumble match. It's very good. He's got a good chance of winning. He took out Dolph Ziggler. He took out Finn Balor in the past. He took out Kurt Angle. He's took out a lot of big names over the past few weeks, to say the least. But yeah, that match from the when the bell rang at the beginning to when the bell rang at the end, just everything was good. Especially after the match as well, when Dolph Ziggler was like, "Is that the best you got? Is that the best you got?" And Drew McIntyre absolutely destroyed him. So I reckon McIntyre could easily be the next Universal Champion if he keeps this up. But now we go on to the bad part of a Monday Night Raw. Well, Monday Night Raw in New Year's Eve had two women's tag team matches, a six women tag team match, and a normal women's tag team matchup. And the six women, for me, the six women tag team match was pretty bad. The actual match was okay, but it was one of those matches that was just there for I didn't really like it that much. It was just, if I can remember correctly, it was Ember Moon, I think Bayley and Sasha Banks taking on the Riot Squad, and yeah, I think that was the competitors. Yeah, because the Riot Squad have been screwing around lately with Ember Moon and Sasha Banks and Bayley and stuff. Yeah, because the week prior they interfered in them. Yeah, I remember now. So yeah, that was just terrible. It wasn't terrible. It's just like I wasn't into it as much as any other matches on the card or segments. So that there's just like a bleh type of match. It's just there. So usually when there's a 6-man or 6-women matchup, it's just there for a reason, just to blow off some steam for some wrestlers to have time there, I suppose. But yeah, wasn't really that entertaining, in my opinion. But with that being said, we are now gonna go on to the ugly part. This is the part where it was just meh. And this ugly part was again the other women's tag team match. It was the Ronda Rousey and Natalya teaming up to take on, if I remember, Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka. Again, because of the whole Tamina Snuka and Nia Jax thing. Yeah. Because that whole, it was just, they're an okay team, and they're bestie friends of Ronda Rousey and Natalya. Again, Ronda Rousey won that matchup with Natalya because, she made, I think it was Nia Jax or one of those two to tap out with the armbar. I haven't really gotten into Ronda Rousey as much as I wanted to. But I'm starting to warm towards her. It's just, I don't know. It was again put together tag team match. Just, to me. So there you go. That was Monday Night Raw. The McIntyre and Ziggler was good. The 6 women tag team match was bad. And the women's tag team match with Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka, and of course Ronda Rousey and Natalya was meh. It was okay. It was ugly. So that is my titles for those 3 matches right there. On to SmackDown Live, which took place on the 1st of January. It was the 1st of January 2019. And the good match scenario for that match was the Fatal 5-Way match, where it was Mustafa Ali, AJ Styles, I think Samoa Joe, and Cien Almas. I think it was Cien Almas and Rey Mysterio. I think it was Rey Mysterio. Yes, because it was Rey Mysterio, Cien Almas, Samoa Joe, Mustafa Ali, and AJ Styles, in which it was the number 1 contendership match where the winner would go on to face Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble, and once again AJ Styles managed to pick up the victory in that matchup, and it was just a great match overall. Just really good spots everywhere in that matchup. 2 thumbs up from me from that match. So AJ Styles won that, then he's going to the Royal Rumble to face Daniel Bryan once again. Obviously, previously Mr. McMahon fired him up to try and become that, the new AJ Styles, so he can, beat up the new Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble a week prior from that. Which I think he's probably going to get the WWE Championship again at Royal Rumble, perhaps, and if he doesn't, he'll end up going in the Royal Rumble match itself, in my opinion. But with that being said, no, actually, I just realised it wasn't Samoa Joe. Who else was it? Because oh yes, I stand corrected. Yeah, he was in that Fatal 5-Way. I just remember a little bit earlier in the match, like a little bit earlier, because I'm going to go on to the next part. Before that Fatal 5-Way happened, there was 4 people that were, like AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, John, Mustafa Ali, and Cien Almas, and all those were already named. But before that, there was 1 more superstar. It was either Samoa Joe or Jeff Hardy. And speaking of that match, man, that was bad in my opinion. That's the bad one. It was just, I know Samoa Joe won at the end, but it's just this feud between Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe is not doing anything to me. It's like it's bringing up the past, the demons of Jeff Hardy, and I don't know. I just couldn't get into the match. I wanted to see a really good finish to the match, but if I remember correctly, it wasn't exactly. I think it was either a DQ or a count-out finish. I can't remember exactly what happened. But I know that Joe didn't win cleanly, that's for sure. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below, but it just wasn't as good as a match as what would later on be that Fatal 5-Way. But moving on from the bad match, let's go on to the ugly part of the evening. And I love the New Day, I do. And everyone pretty much has gotten into New Day, but I think we're starting to run out of ideas for stuff for the New Day to do, because I'm celebrating the New Day style, with Big E dressed up as a New Year's baby, and I know it was kind of them announcing that they were going to be in all 3 of them were going to be in the Royal Rumble match, and I don't know, it just wasn't as exciting as I thought it would be. It's just the New Day being the New Day, and it was a bit meh. So that New Day segment, yeah, that was the ugly. The New Day segment was the ugly part of SmackDown Live last week. So there you go. But SmackDown Live last week, good part was the Fatal 5-Way. The bad part was Samoa Joe versus Jeff Hardy. And of course, the ugly part was the New Day segment. But we're gonna now move on to this week's Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. The good part, good, bad, and ugly. So, yes, moving on to this past Monday Night Raw. And the good part of this past week's on Monday Night Raw, again, that was indeed the 7th of January 2019. We had a very good. I know that I said that the women's tag team match was pretty bad last week, but they made up for that with the really good 6-man tag. It was Finn Balor, John Cena, and I think Seth Rollins. Even though later on he would face Dean Ambrose in a really good Falls Count Anywhere match, but the ending of that kind of not ruined it. It was also good. But this one, the 6-man tag, was even better, as it was, like I said, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and John Cena took on Bobby Lashley, Dean Ambrose, and Drew McIntyre. A team which I think shouldn't have been a team for one Drew McIntyre doesn't need to be teaming up with anybody. He's doing alright on his own. He's proven that. He's dumped on Ziggler. 2, Bobby Lashley has his own thing going on with at the moment. And 3, Dean Ambrose just got away from the Shield. He doesn't do very good with teams, as we've now realised. Is that he felt like he was weak, the weakest member of the Shield. He felt like he was weak, or that made him weak. So he doesn't do good with teams, as we found out later on in the night. That's what he said himself, because they lost obviously to John Cena and Finn Balor, which it was a good way to start off Monday Night Raw with the brawl and everything, and then between Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins, and then going on from that to John Cena entering the ring, and then being interrupted by Drew McIntyre, who then would then do the whole, everyone beating up Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, who interrupted that John Cena and Drew McIntyre started beating up Drew McIntyre, and then out comes Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor comes down, and it does that whole cutaway thing into the 6-man tag, and the 6-man tag, and overall, it was really good. I really enjoyed that. But, with every silver lining, there has to be a good and a bad and an ugly, so let's go on to the bad part of Monday Night Raw this past week, which I think was just the Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar segment. I mean, talk about boring. It's just the same old, you're afraid of me, you don't want to go in the ring, and he didn't get in the ring, and Braun Strowman is facing him at the Royal Rumble anyway, and even though he's lost multiple occasions, even the last time that Brock Lesnar faced Braun Strowman, I think was a couple of months ago, pay-per-view. I can't exactly remember what one that was. It wasn't TLC, it was the one before that. And I think it was Survivor Series, and he just got dominated with 5 F5s. And I'm sorry, Braun, why does he keep getting these championship opportunities when he just screws them up every single time? Brock Lesnar has his number. Why do we keep seeing this? Boring as hell. Brock Lesnar is shown to be a coward. Braun Strowman looks dumb. by challenging him over and over again, even though he's lost to Brock Lesnar on multiple occasions. It was just one of those boring, like, Brock was on the Titantron, Braun's in the ring. Ugh. I'm sorry, but I just didn't like it at all. But yeah, that's my bad. What was bad about Monday Night Raw this past week. Now let's get to the ugly part. Unfortunately, this ugly part was like the Elias versus Baron Corbin. Yeah, there was plenty of other matches which I could have given it to, but this was just like another one of those matches that was thrown away at the end because Baron Corbin won. It's like you gave Elias all this trash talking at the beginning, and they gave Baron Corbin the win. I mean, it was a throwaway match. Didn't necessarily need to be there. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands here, but you know, I need to kind of make it interesting. I just thought it was like, could have been better. It wasn't bad, like, it wasn't the Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar bad, but at least it had a match that happened, so that's kind of what made it good. But it was just, the match itself was okay, with a couple of moves here from Elias and a couple of moves there from Baron Corbin, hitting the usual spots with the clothesline and the days, and I don't think I saw any deep six happen, but for what I can remember. So yeah, that was the good, bad, and ugly for this part of the week on Monday Night Raw. So let's move on to SmackDown Live. This past week. That's a good. The good thing to come out this. I just finished watching SmackDown Live for this past week, and my God, the Usos and the Bar, they are very, very good. They have good chemistry. Yeah, the ending was like, the finish was like, but they pulled off some really good stuff during the match itself. So, taking away the ending, the match itself was brilliant. So, you know, I originally had the tag team match with Rey Mysterio and Mustafa Ali versus Cien Almas and Samoa Joe. But then I saw the Usos match and I thought, no, this is even better. Despite the outcome, and even at the end with The Miz coming out to challenge the Bar to a tag team match at the Royal Rumble and the Brogue Kick at the end, just the whole entire thing from the Mandy Rose bit at the end, it still ties into the story. So it's good storytelling, good match. The Bar is always nice to see, and so are the Usos. So that, for me, was the good thing to come out of SmackDown Live this week. And I suppose we'll have to go back to the bad things now. So the bad thing to come out of SmackDown Live this week was the start of the show, pretty much. It started off with the intro going into, you know, the entire going to the back for the last both Monday Night Raw and SmackDown this past week has started off with brawls or crowd shots. Like Daniel Bryan was in the back, and it was, I like to call this the Daniel Bryan moment / match with R-Truth. So this is the whole Daniel Bryan segment and R-Truth match. So I'm gonna combine them both, because it did actually happen in one big way. So Daniel Bryan was just doing his usual new Daniel Bryan heel stick to the fans and the concession stands. That was the good part, ish, but it's still pretty bad. I love the new Daniel Bryan, but it's the actual Daniel Bryan versus R-Truth after that actual match itself. So yeah, that promo, good. The match afterwards between him and R-Truth, yeah, even though R-Truth attacked Daniel Bryan, it was quick. It was over in like 30 seconds. Blink and you miss it. No point to it. No story behind it. Even though, yeah, R-Truth has a reason for going 1-on-1 against Daniel Bryan because on Christmas Day, he attacked him, and it's like, what the hell? What the hell? Pointless. Completely pointless. And now we're gonna go into the ugly part of SmackDown Live. I was gonna go for the whole Mandy Rose thing and attacking, but that story made sense. And even though this next story, the Rusev and Nakamura segment, kind of makes sense with the whole, but it's one of those bad guy lures a trap type thing story that we've seen loads of times for like happen before, and it was just one of those, another one of those I lured you into a trap and I attacked you moments. And there's obviously gonna be a championship match at Royal Rumble for the United States Championship. Nakamura versus Rusev. But I mean, those two are also going to be in the Rumble match itself. But I just got this strange feeling that that's what's going to happen. That's going to be Nakamura versus Rusev. That's all it's leading to. Nothing special. Just another attack moment. A lot better than, I mean, yeah, there wasn't a match from it, but at least I think the Daniel Bryan moment, even it was slightly better than that, because even though there was a match with Daniel Bryan and R-Truth, it was like over in seconds and completely pointless. At least this has some point to it, because the story that's happening between those two, with what happened last week, or with Nakamura, attacking Rusev in the middle of the celebration. That's kind of plus I like Nakamura and I like Rusev a lot more than I do R-Truth. I do like R-Truth, but him being in the picture with Daniel Bryan at the beginning of the show compared to like midway, it's just like, yeah, not worth it. So yeah, the Rusev and Nakamura segment to me was meh. It was ugly. So there you go. That was the good, the bad, and ugly for SmackDown Live this past week, and this has been my first ever premiere 2-week special of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And now let me know what you think of this brand new playlist and idea that I have. Do you think it's good, bad, or is it ugly? Let me know in the comments below. If I should continue doing this like 1 week at a time, or should I review other previous Monday Night Raws and SmackDown Lives, or NXT or 205 Live, as well as Monday Night Raw. But until next time, or next week, I will review Monday Night Raw's good, bad, and ugly. The same for SmackDown Live's good, bad, and ugly review. Until then, bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to watch the previous video, click on the video on the left. But if you want to watch the playlist, then click on the video on the right. Also, feel free to click subscribe by clicking on the Master Chief icon on the top.